Greetings, Nimrods. So today I'm going to open up this Zenith side-by-side 20 gauge shotgun, and this is Blackjack, the infamous gun that Bubba Alamo bought me when he won big time at Blackjack. And that is the one woodcock that we both shot at in Maine this fall. And I'll let you guess who actually hit it, and we'll talk about that later sometime. But the reason I need to open this up and give it a good cleaning is that more often than I would like, I get a light primer strike on the left barrel. And it kind of did this right out of the gate. When I first bought this gun and shot skeet with it, I got a few light primer strikes, and I sort of brushed it aside and said, well, they're probably low set primers, because I was using some reloads on some AA hulls that probably been reloaded a few too many times. But it kept happening, and it would happen, and I'd start measuring the depth of the primers, and they really should have been hitting, and they were set a little deep, but I've seen factory primers at the same depth, so I was a little bit concerned about that. And I think maybe what's happening is that the spring has got some either cosmoline from shipping that never got cleaned out, or oil in there that's collected some dust. More likely that it's cosmoline, only because it did it right off the bat, and it's not gotten better. I don't really flood the receivers with oil. I used to do that, and I found that that's what happened, that the oil would get in the spring, and dust and dirt and powder residue would get in there, and it would keep the spring from compressing all the way and cause light primer strikes. It would also cause the spring to not spring back, essentially. It would stick together, and then the firing pin would get broken when you open the receiver up. So, word to the wise, don't really over oil your guns, your shotguns, to prevent that from happening. And so I do think that there might be some cosmoline on the springs on this, and I hesitated to open this thing up because the box lock shotguns I've opened up in the past, I've broken firing springs like I just mentioned and had to fix. They are a pain in the ass to take the springs out of, to take the firing pins out of. They're called a box lock because it's all locked up in the box. To get the springs, I wish I had a picture of one, but if you go online and you look, they're inside the receiver, and you really have to struggle to get the firing pins, not so much out, but back in, because you have to knock out pins that hold the hammers in place and compress the springs. And when they come out, it's a chore to get them back in. And basically, you need specialized tools to do it. And I've made some wooden ones to help me put my Savage 311. I've done it twice now. I've had to replace firing pins in that twice. And I use that gun a lot, so there's a reason. But at any rate, so here we go. Hey, look at that, a surprise. This is great because it looks more like a side lock inside there than a box lock. You can see everything. So this gun would actually, after opening this and looking at it, be fairly easy to change out those firing pins. It's really kind of nice. You can even see the sides. They have a little cutaway, and you can see the probably can't see it on this, but we'll zoom in a little bit better later. There's a little cutaway, and you can see the spring, and you can see the firing pin through it, right up at the front end of the receiver there. Okay, now I found a little rust here at the ends of the springs, retention things, a little rust on there, so that's not a good thing. Perhaps I should be flooding this with oil when I use it. So we've put this in a little bucket with my favorite solvent, old chainsaw fuel. The ethanol and chainsaw fuel screws up your chainsaw, so you really cannot keep it around too long, like about a month, and then it gets dumped in the car and used for projects like this. And by the way, it actually makes your car run smoother if you run old cars, to run a little 2-cycle fuel in there. And we're talking about adding a gallon into a 14-gallon tank, so don't get crazy. So what I'm doing here is I'm flooding the little cutaways that where I can see. Here you'll be able to see a little better. You can see the spring, and you can see the firing pin there where the hammer's going to hit it. And then I'm pushing on the firing pin once I flood that area with solvent. See the cutaway right there, and you can see the pin and the spring right there. And so I'm flooding it, and then I'm pumping the hammer with the end of the toothbrush there to get the fluid through it. And I will tell you that it definitely was not draining through that easily when I first started this. So there had to be something in there, and it's definitely the fuel is moving through it faster as I clean this as this project progresses. Now, unfortunately, we are dealing with this COVID-19 thing right now, and the gun range is closed. So I cannot tell you whether this worked or not. We'll do a little follow-up video at some point, and maybe we'll tell you who shot that woodcock in that video. So stay tuned. Happy hunting, Nimrods. And remember, Nimrod wants you to subscribe, share, and like this video.